A full slate of 8 SEC on SEC games this weekend. Who is on upset alert? Our buddy Chris Marler will join the show. Locked On SEC starts right now.
You are Locked On SEC, your daily podcast on the Southeastern Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And what's up, everybody? Welcome into Locked On SEC. It's great to have you guys along. I'm Chris Gordy. Thanks for making Locked On SEC your first listen every day. Shout out to our everydayers. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, on the Locked On Podcast Network, covering your team every day. And a reminder, also now on the Gulf Coast Sports and Entertainment Network, broadcasting daily across Alabama, Louisiana, and Mississippi. So check us out there. I'm Chris Gordy. Our buddy Chris Marler joins us. He is at Vern Funquist on Twitter, host of Locked On Gamecocks, Fourth and Wrong, and you can find him at louisianasports.net. Marler, how the heck are you?
Oh, brother, just blessed, man. I was doing any better than me too. I mean, am I right? I don't know what that means. I had regulars at the bar used to say it to me all the time, and I hated it.
I saw somebody tweet this. I didn't know if this was the case or not. They said this is the first time ever we're going to have 8 full SEC versus SEC games. Did that not happen last year?
I want to first start by saying I didn't love the way that you phrased SEC on SEC action in the pregame. That felt dirty. But yeah, no, I guess it is. I don't know. There's a lot of stats that came out this week that I was surprised were there. I mean, they were like, we'll get into all of it. Yeah, there's been a lot of numbers. Cole Kubick basically is just in charge of finding the deepest of deep dive numbers, and maybe we got it from him.
What was the stat he had on Lenore Sellers against LSU? He had, 22 rushes for 19 yards, but he traveled something like
894 yards. 894 yards. I don't know if you're familiar with the football field, but it's like, 53 and a half yards from sideline to sideline. So he was just running gassers. That's it. He was just running gassers the whole time.
So kind of speaks more to how good LSU's defense really is with chasing him down. All right, I want to start right out of the gates, Marla. I want to start with the big one because I want to give this a little bit of time. It is the big one, third Saturday in October, 6:30 Central on ABC from Tuscaloosa. It is number 11 Tennessee at number 6 Alabama. Both offenses, the two best in the SEC so far. Both quarterbacks playing well. Joey Aguilar, Ty Simpson. I saw Ty say this game means a whole lot to him. He's been waiting for this one. He was born in Tennessee. Of course, he's the Alabama quarterback. So initial thoughts on this one.
Oh, man, there's just a lot of good rivalries that really get you going. And this is one I'm just trying to think about how I should approach this, Gordy, because I love this game so much. It's so intense. People talk about the Auburn game and all that kind of stuff, but this is the one, if you're a Bama fan, that you want to win. Because here's the thing. I say this all the time. It's like that quote from the movie The Hangover when Ed Helms, the dentist or whatever, was telling Alan, he's like, "You are too stupid to insult." That's how it is to talk trash to Auburn fans. They don't care. They've been beaten down emotionally forever. They have nothing to fight for. And if you say, so you talk trash after beating them, there's no fun in it. You talk trash after being a Tennessee fan or vice versa with them talking trash to Bama fans, it gets the body going. It gets the blood boiling. And this is a big, big rivalry. It feels a lot like that 9.5 points is way too high for one. But you also, I don't have as much confidence in Tennessee coming out of the Arkansas game just because of what they were giving up offensively. I expected them to come out of the gates off the bye week against a really bad Arkansas defense and at least put up more points, especially in the first half. And I don't think they really struggled there, and they kind of pulled away in the third quarter. But that game left a lot to be desired for me in terms of like where they stand in the SEC pecking order. Same can be said for Alabama. They were in full control of that game against Mizzou till about 27 minutes left or 27 minutes into the game. And then something happens late in the first half, and all the momentum that you had is kind of gone because of some bad passes from Ty Simpson, a sack. They get a field goal, and then you fumble on the first play. Now, you credit them for going to win on the road. They're the first team or the fifth team in SEC history to win 3 consecutive games in 3 consecutive weeks against top 25 SEC opponents. That's insane. I've seen that happen a lot more. But you get rewarded with now playing the number 11 team in the country at home. So at some point, I feel like it's very hard to get up emotionally that many times. I also don't love Bama playing from behind. This feels like a game they're going to have to play from behind in because of how good Tennessee is on script.
Tennessee has won 2 out of the last 3 after losing. How many it was in a row? It was
16 in a row.
So that's trending in their direction. Yeah, it feels like to me Bama's they're gotta have some kind of letdown eventually, like where they lose one, because this is just such a gauntlet of a schedule that they're having to run, but they're getting it done. I mean, to me, I thought the death knell was the fake punt by Drinkwitz. Maybe not the best decision because it was a 3-point game. He gets 3 yards. He needed 4. It gives Bama the short field. They make it a 10-point game. And, again, Mizzou goes and gets the touchdown, but it was kind of too little too late. And so,
well, if he hits that one kid, if Bo Perbula hits that number 2 wide open on the sideline, he might go the distance. That game is completely different. I mean, that game, Bama shot themselves in the foot and had all these different things happen where they didn't recover a couple of fumbles, and they had again, they should have put that game away in the first half. A Saban team puts that game away in the first half. I don't care how that sounds. I'm still impressed with Missouri, and I'm impressed with Tennessee with what they're able to do because it gives you fits. People forget last year, man. That game, they were able to win last year, but it was like you had 3 turnovers that went Bama's way in the first half. I think you're only up 7-0 at halftime. So I don't love when Kalen DeBoer's teams get down, especially get down by a lot early. You saw it at Oklahoma, did not work out well. Vanderbilt did not work out well. Florida State this year did not work out well. Michigan in the bowl game, when they get down 2 scores early, it's frustrating and uncomfortable to see if that defense is going to be able to get enough stops or if the offense is going to be able to click. So it's going to be a game of momentum. I mean, God, dude, there's few things that Bama fans are going to fear more, I think, if they're being honest with themselves, than living in a world where Tennessee comes into your house and beats you for the 3rd time in 4 years.
One more on this one real quick. I had somebody say they think Alabama, you can run on them. Tennessee obviously can run the football very well. Deshaun Bishop had 100-something yards. This person seemed to think they got that Mizzou was moving the ball with Ahmad Hardy. They just got away from it. They stopped trying to run. So is this one where Tennessee should just keep running?
I don't think they ever got him started. I didn't he had 12 carries for 52 yards. I don't know. He had 11 carries, I think, total going into the 4th quarter. So it's like, I know you're playing from behind and Bama had the ball for like 39 minutes, but there was never an effort to really just, hey, we're going to run this down your throat. Same with Vanderbilt, really. So maybe it's not a mistake that Tennessee is going to make. I think the bigger matchup question, dude, is those 2 cornerbacks, Ricky Green III, which is a great Alabama name. I don't know if he's from Alabama. That sounds like all my kin in Anniston. And then also Jermon McCoy. If they are finally back, they haven't played at all this year. That's a huge pickup for a secondary that has struggled at times.
Yeah, and the big question is, how do they use Caden Proctor in a creative way again this week?
He's kicking field goals this week.
It's unbelievable. You have an early vibe on this one? Early lean?
I know my role in this game. I know my role and how to keep the vibes going. I think Tennessee wins. I think Tennessee is. I think the path for them to win is they're going to have to be up double digits early and make Bama claw their way back into it, which they could. It is at home. It is at night. You have to keep playing this brand of football that Bama's played, which is you got to be really good on 3rd downs. You got to get off the field. And you have to, more than anything, that people haven't talked about enough is the penalties have really cut down. 2 of your losses to this team in the last 3 years. It is the 2 highest. It's the most penalized you've been in a game in the last 9+ years as a team. 15 for 115 last time they played them in Knoxville. 17 for 130 in 2022. So hopefully you're able to shore up some of those issues at home.
And you've picked Bama to lose their last 3 games, right?
Yeah, they're going to lose this week.
Let me squeeze one more in here real quick. 6 p.m. Central on ESPN. It is number 21 Texas at 2-3 Kentucky from Lexington. It's a game I'll be at. Arch Manning coming off a massive win over Oklahoma last week. Texas's playoff hopes still alive. Kentucky feels like they're kind of Mark Stoops on life support here.
I don't think he wants to be there anymore. Remember we started doing the show in 2022 and you would talk to me every Wednesday and I was like, I'll do it for 30 minutes to get away from the girl I was dating. Like, that's what his attitude towards Kentucky looks like. It feels like it's very palpable. So maybe you should bring him on the show. Don't replace me, but like maybe he can be on the show next year. I think he's in over his head. I feel like with like the talent difference. Here's the biggest issue. They're a 10.5-point underdog. I have not been great in my picks this year. And I don't mean like the Bama pick. I mean my picks. I have not been great in my picks that I've tried to not have any luck with. 10.5. Do you think Texas can score 11 points?
Yes.
Do you think it's plausible that Kentucky scores 0?
Possible, yeah.
This is a blowout. I mean, like, this is a blowout. I think this is the get right game for Texas, where they go down and beat the weakest link in the conference and make everyone else feel like they were back on track.
Here's the tough part. The past 2 weeks, 2 weeks ago, everybody, Texas isn't going to have any problem with Florida. They lose the game. Yep. Last week, everybody's picking Oklahoma to beat Texas. Oklahoma beats Oklahoma. So Texas is like, we don't know week to week what they're going to do. It is on the road in a tough, road SEC environment. Maybe Lexington's not the toughest. It is a night game, but I don't know. I seem to think maybe that game last week was a confidence booster for Arch. Maybe he starts to get better and better each week. If he comes out and throws for 300 and 3 touchdowns in Lexington, I think we're all going to go, oh, Texas is very much still alive for a playoff spot.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I don't think it's wrong. I think whatever's left, everyone kind of has left them for dead, and so now you've kind of granted this team that doesn't deserve any of this at all, but you have generously placed this chip on their shoulder so they can pretend like they're the underdogs.
All right, 6 more games to touch on with our buddy Chris Marler. More Locked On SEC next. More Locked On SEC in just a second, but first, Mazda crafts cars for those who do more than simply move. Mazda delivers confidence with every ride, with more IIHS Top Safety Pick Awards than anyone else. From footwork to breathwork, athletes sweat all the details. Mazda, they bring this same intention to how they craft every model. You can feel Japanese craftsmanship in every detail, from the metallic accents to available Napa leather upholstery. You can make everyday drives feel like anything but. From smooth handling to the intuitive controls, and with all-wheel drive standard in every crossover SUV, you can drive with confidence through almost any season. And just like our players, we sweat every detail, because when you make every move count, impossible becomes irrelevant. Mazda, move and be moved. This episode also brought to you by our friends over at Peloton. And look, they are shaping the future of fitness with the brand new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus, powered by Peloton IQ. It is their most advanced equipment yet, designed to give you real-time guidance and endless ways to move. Whether you're running, lifting, or cross-training with your favorite instructors, this is training reimagined. Peloton is built for breakthroughs with tools that help you plan, stay motivated, and reach peak performance. You're going to love how the Peloton IQ system offers real-time strength coaching. It actually tracks your reps, suggests the right weights, and corrects your form, making every rep safer and smarter. The swivel screen, it's a game changer. You can go from running on the Tread Plus to strength training without missing a beat, and the personalized class recommendations keep you engaged. You get workouts tailored to your vibe and energy level each week. So let yourself run, lift, flex, and push forward. Explore the new Peloton Cross Training Tread today at onepeloton.com. That's ONEPELOTON.com, onepeloton.com. All right, Marlo, let's jump back into it. 11 a.m. Central on ABC. It is number 10 LSU at number 17 Vanderbilt. Both teams 5-1. Garrett Nussmeier versus Diego Pavia. We seem to see a much better Garrett Nussmeier last week against South Carolina, albeit 3 red zone turnovers that really prevented them from making that a blowout against South Carolina. But if Nussmeier plays like that again this week, more confident in the passing game, it's wild that LSU is a slight underdog at Vanderbilt to me, but what are your thoughts on this one?
It's the firdy time that Vandy has been favored over LSU since 1948. It's the first time since 1977 they have been favored over a top 10 opponent. I think we all remember that Vanderbilt team from 1977. That team had it, brother. Mitch Mordecai, Brad Bryantson, Jim Johnson. They all 3 became city councilors. No, I don't. I mean, they're coming off a bye. They're a well-coached team. This feels like the Vegas is like giving you a sign every week where it's like, oh, I should pay attention to that. And my dumb butt over here has been like, no, Vegas is stupid. There's no way they got this one right. This one feels like that because Vanderbilt opening at 1.5 and then going to 2.5 feels very much like Vegas is begging you to bet on LSU. I'm going to. So you're welcome, Vegas. I'm going to hammer LSU because the thing that people keep talking about this offense is it's very similar to the way they talk about Texas. Texas isn't any good because Arch Manning isn't any good. LSU isn't any good because Garrett Nussmeier hasn't been any good. Like, that's the mindset people have had with these teams. They keep forgetting there's a whole other side of the football that they play, and it's defense. This is a top 5 LSU defense in the country, and you saw how good they were against South Carolina. And we talked about earlier how they got after Lenoris. I mean, they're going to have to stop the run first and foremost. I think they're equipped to do so. Mansour Delane is the best defensive back in the country. He will shut down one half of the field, and you will put Harold Perkins on Eli Stowers for most of the game at the SAR position. Then you go figure out let the other 9 go do work. And I think personally, this Vanderbilt team is good, and they're all, Brian Kelly joked about it at the press conference on Monday, they're all, 7th, 8th, 9th year seniors. But like at some point, the cream always rises to the top. And this team for LSU is much more talented than Vanderbilt's. They're going to beat Vanderbilt. I was shocked when I saw this line.
Yeah, I think of it as this. LSU came into the season with playoff aspirations. They have to be a playoff team. So to win this, they lose this, they have no room for error the rest of the way. They have to win out. For Vanderbilt, I think they're better than we all expected. Like, hey, great story, but they didn't have legit playoff aspirations. In other words, they probably did in-house, but outside, nobody thought Vanderbilt was going to be a playoff team. So to me, this is where, coming off the loss to Alabama, this is where the spiral kind of happens. This is where the losses kind of stack. Look, if they can finish 8-4, that still is phenomenal for Vanderbilt. But to me, this is a more important game for LSU to win. And by the way, they travel very well. They're going to have a lot of fans in Nashville. So, this is a must-win for Brian Kelly and LSU. Hate to put that on him, it just is.
You think about also real quick, I asked Brian Kelly this yesterday. I was like, what time do the fans need to start drinking to get at their best? And he was like, 6 a.m. Bloody Marys. Let's go. And
he said, this guy asking questions again? Good Lord.
I know, right? Just big D, small J journalism. You know what I mean, brother? Here we go. No, I think the biggest thing is that if I talked to some people around LSU and their feeling on this is like, because if you lose, you have 2 losses and you have no more room for error. But if you lose, you still get A&M at home. You get Bama that could be beatable on the road. They match up well against them. So I think there's all those things still in place. But I think the confidence that you lose as a fan base in this team, if they lose this game, it's very bad.
How about 11:45 Central on the SEC Network from Columbia? It is number 14 Oklahoma at 3-3 South Carolina. Both teams coming off of losses last weekend. Lenore Sellers kind of been stymied so far this season. Not as maybe electric as we thought he would be. But John Napier, coming off the worst game of his college career, clearly to me wasn't 100% healthy. But an important game for both these teams.
I'm sitting here and talking about this game being 11:45. That part pisses me off. I don't know why that we somehow got screwed over here in South Carolina, where you have a chance to have a electric atmosphere and you get stuck with this game. It's a very important game for the season at 11:45. That part kind of sucks. But at the same time, here's what I keep saying about South Carolina. There hasn't been a ton of things that make me feel super confident offensively from the season. That's fine. What I will also say is we had the same exact conversation last year when they were 3-3, trying to figure out where they're going. Like, are they going to be good? Are they going to be bad? Are they going to be, is the season over? Blah, blah, blah. And they reel off 6 straight wins. I will believe for another week if they can prove that they can put out an offense that puts up more than 20 points and more than 350 yards of offense, which is not asking for much. I think it's a dangerous spot for Oklahoma because they haven't played a true road game yet. Their only road game is Temple. Like we've talked about how great they are, and one of the reasons, if we're being honest, we talked about how great they are is because the defense is really good. Natier's been great, but now he's hurt. And you beat a Michigan team with a true freshman quarterback in his first road start, and you beat a bad Auburn team, and you needed a lot of help to do it. So the opportunity is there for South Carolina. The whole issue is they're going to have to field an offensive line, and that's when things could go awry.
Yeah, I almost wonder if Shane Beamer should get with Mike Shula and go, dude, we gotta change things up. Let's get some motion horizontally. Like, let's get Lenoris out of this box and just get some people out in space, because it's just sitting there in the pocket is not going to get it done. All right, one more of this segment, 2:30 Central on ESPN from Fayetteville. It is number 4 Texas A&M at 2-4 Arkansas. Bobby Petrino coming back to make his home debut since taking over as interim head coach after Sam Pittman was fired. Arkansas gave Tennessee all they could handle last week. The Aggies took care of Florida, but this is going to be the first SEC road game of the season for the Aggies. Marler, the Aggies have only left Kyle Field once this year, and it took a miracle in the final seconds to win at Notre Dame. It's a great win, but this is their first time leaving. And I don't know, this is just like a dangerous Arkansas team with like nothing to lose. They're not a great defense at all. And that's where I look at like Marcel Reed may have his day, but Taylor Green's played very well. And that offense, if they can, if they can keep up with the Aggies, maybe they'll have a chance.
I mean, yeah, I think we've kind of hit the ceiling with Taylor Green. It's a high ceiling. It's a lot of fun to watch, but it's one of those things where it's like, dude, what did he have? 3 fumbles or 2 fumbles against Tennessee? There's so many like great things he does. And I've said this before. He reminds me so much of 2019 Bo Nix, like as a freshman for Bo Nix. It's like 3 to 5 times a game, he will do something you're like, oh my God, like no one else in America can do that. That was incredible. And then 3 to 5 times in a game, you're like, oh my God, what the are you doing, dude? So they're at home and they're a 7.5-point underdog. I love the fight they had last week against Tennessee when they could have rolled over and died when they went down 34-17. And they're at home in front of their home crowd. Maybe they are able to dig deep and keep this one close. I'm glad this one's not being played in Jerry World. I just think A&M is a little bit too locked in right now. And A&M's not having to come off these big games and emotional wins. Like you got Florida and you saw them shut them down. I think the biggest thing here is I want to see if A&M's defense is really that good or if you played a subpar Florida offense that's been pretty bad for most of the season, a bad Auburn offense, and then whoever else they played the week before that.
Yeah, these next 3 weeks are going to tell us a lot about Texas A&M all on the road. All right, more to come here on Locked On SEC. More with Chris Marler in just a second, but first, the holidays are going to be here before you know it. It is exciting, but getting your home ready for guests and celebrations, it can feel like a lot. Maybe your serveware needs a refresh, or the guest room could use new bedding. Wayfair has everything you need to get your home holiday ready, from Christmas trees and wreaths to bedding, cookware, and outdoor inflatables. It is your one-stop shop for every room in the house. Wayfair makes it easy to personalize your home for the holidays with a huge selection for every style and budget. And with free and easy delivery, even on the big stuff, you can get everything you need without the hassle of huge delivery fees. If you order some new holiday decor from Wayfair, it's going to completely transform your living room. The wreaths, throw pillows instantly will make the space feel warm and festive. And the delivery, fast and free, which it will be a lifesaver during this busy time of year. Now, instead of stressing about getting your house ready, you can actually enjoy the holiday with friends and family. Get organized, refreshed, and ready for the holidays for way less. Head to wayfair.com right now to shop all things home. It's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. This episode also brought to you by our friends at Supply House. When the opening whistle blows on a new repair, get your crew moving forward with Supply House. Order today and see parts on your doorstep tomorrow. Over 280,000 plumbing, HVAC, electrical items for the most trusted brands in the business. Their real-time inventory and honest lead times will keep you from punting projects, while their industry-leading customer service always has your blind side covered. If you need parts fast for a project, Supply House has next-day delivery. Talk about a game changer. The part finder tools and 3D schematics, they could save you hours on jobs where every detail matters. And their Trademaster perks like priority shipping and dedicated support make the whole process smoother. You can join the free Trademaster program today and score some serious perks like priority shipping, lower prices, and a dedicated support line. Visit supplyhouse.com to sign up for free and use that promo code SHCollege5. Get 5% off your first order. That is supplyhouse.com. Real people, real service. All right, final segment with our buddy Chris Marler. And Marler, 3 more SEC games to touch on. 3:15 Central on SEC Network from Gainesville. It is 4-2 Mississippi State at 2-4 Florida. State coming off a bye. Florida off a tough loss at Texas A&M. Billy Napier, again, got to run the table here or do pretty close to it to save his job at this point. But what do you make of this one?
So bold prediction, Mississippi State coming off a bye. I think this is the nail in the coffin. I think this is the one for Billy. And I rooted for Billy a lot, and I wanted him to be able to silence the naysayers, all that kind of stuff. And I'm not even that confident on Mississippi State, but they have been impressive this year. And think about that game last year. I don't remember what the final score was, but I feel like, is this where Blake Shapen got injured?
I think so.
And that was a game where Florida came out and they still had a healthy Graham Mertz. DJ Lagway came in. I think they had like 24 of 29. They completed like 21 straight passes or some crazy thing. I don't think you're going to get that same performance. I think that you're going to get a Mississippi State team that is fired up, especially coming off the bye, and kind of realizes for the first time in a couple of years they have a lot in front of them. And here's the thing I know with Florida. They've been great. The Texas game was great, but they played ahead for most of that game. This is not a team that has shown a ton of composure if they need it late in the game. And that's what worries me if I'm like, even from a play calling standpoint. So I'm gonna take Mississippi State in the upset.
I did talk to somebody in the know that thinks win or lose that Florida going into the bye week, Napier will be out because the pressure's on. Penn State's already got an opening. Arkansas's already got an opening.
Yeah.
If Florida keeps waiting, it's less time you have to put out feelers for agents and all that. So
Dude,
they
Franklin
may just
is a perfect fit for Florida State. That's where he should go. I don't think they have the money to get rid of Norvell, but Florida is a great spot.
I think he would do well there. I mean, you know, is he going to win a championship? Maybe not, but like certainly going to win more games there than Billy Napier has.
Florida fans, I posted that yesterday. Florida fans are like in my mentions telling me how stupid I am because like he can't win anything. It's like, dude, he had double-digit wins in like 6 of the last 9 years. Like, I'm not sure if you're familiar with where your program's been, but it's not that.
Yeah, outside of this year, it was like he beat everybody not named Ohio State and Michigan, basically. How about 6:45 Central on SEC Network from the plains of Auburn? It is number 16 Mizzou taking on 3-3 Auburn. Mizzou taking their first loss, a close one at home to Alabama. Meanwhile, Auburn has lost 3 in a row, 0-3 to start SEC play. Hugh Freeze losing trust day by day. Thoughts on this one?
You know, I think there's a path for Auburn to win. Now, hear me out here. If they are able to throw the ball effectively, block for Jackson Arnold, get a couple of turnovers, it's Bo Pribula, first road game. It's a first Missouri road game. It's at night in Jordan Hare. And like all those things are possible to happen. But here's the thing. If one call doesn't go their way, they will melt down like a child who didn't get a candy bar at the CVS and lose their blank, because that is the most emotionally immature team in the country. And it starts with our head coach. And I know Hugh Freeze is listening because he watches this show every week. So Hugh, you're in charge. You're in charge, dude. Stop complaining in-game commercials. This is like when somebody's like, hey, man, how's your job going? And then you're like, oh, man, it's the worst. Let me tell you what so-and-so did. I know that because I do it all the time. No one cares about your job. They don't know any of those people. Stop trauma dumping on Holly Rowe or whoever's on the sideline. This should be the most heartbreaking thing I have heard from my Auburn grad fiance was last week. And she goes, look at this environment. Like, look at this environment from swag surfing and Cam being there at night and the light show. And like, we have one of the top, if not the best, sickest environments in the country. And for what? Because it's all for nothing because they can't win games. And I felt so bad for her for like 3 seconds. Then I just started laughing, texting all my friends about how stupid Auburn is. That's how I feel about that game.
If they lose this one, if Auburn loses this one, does Hugh get fired? Do we get a Billy Napier double dose of firing, Billy Napier and Hugh Freeze?
I think if both teams do that, they should have to coach the other team the rest of the year. I think this whole thing, all of this is stupid anyway at this point, and it's all entertainment. And the SEC refs are going to find a way to screw Auburn either way. So like, we might as well just have some fun with it at this point. Like, you know what they should do? Spin a wheel each week. Put some names out there, spin a wheel, maybe give away some money to charity and let a fan go out there and call a game. Maybe let Coach O sneak in and call a second half, huh? Right. A lot of fun.
Let's let Deuce Knight play quarterback. I mean, let's mix things up.
I hope this becomes the Sting meme from the rafters or a Stone Cold Steve Austin thing. And what I would love to see more than anything is you're sitting here and Auburn is down after a very underwhelming performance. They're down 20-13 at the half or 24-13 at the half. Fans are upset. Fans are mad. All of a sudden, the band gets off the field at halftime, and you just hear the lights go out and glass breaks, and out comes Carnell Williams to Stone Cold Steve Austin's music, and he coaches the Tigers to a victory in the second half.
Hey, people wanted him to have the job last go around.
That's the
last one, Marler, 2:30 Central on ABC from Athens. It's number 5 Ole Miss and number 9 Georgia. Lane Kiffin taking a shot this week at Kirby Smart's weight. Rebels are undefeated. I looked it up, though. Ole Miss's strength of schedule ranks 63rd. Outside of that win over LSU, they haven't really been tested, really. Georgia's strength of schedule is 8th. Meanwhile, Kirby and Georgia, a monster second half to get a win at Auburn last week. What say you on this one?
All right, so this is the last game, so I'll try to keep it somewhat quick, but I want to say 2 main things here. No one's talking about the subtlety of Lane Kiffin truly turning the corner of a coach, and it's not because of the win that he had last year against Georgia. It's not because he beat LSU at home a couple weeks ago. It's because of the close win at Washington State. The textbook blueprint for Nick Saban or Kirby Smart and people of that ilk, like they come out from that whole tree, is you have a huge win, you come out and you underperform and underwhelm the next week as much as possible, because now you have something to work on. And you're telling me they come out of a bye week and they weren't prepared enough to beat Washington State by more than 3? I don't know if you even saw any of the game, or like it was clunky and weird and they weren't great in the red zone, blah, 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 blah. Early start time, all that kind of stuff. But it wasn't like Chambliss played horribly bad. He lost a fumble, still had, I think, 270 yards of offense and 2 touchdowns. They ran the ball with Kewan Lacey very, very well. They were great on third down. I think they were like 7 or 8 of 15. Like, this was a textbook peak Saban, peak Kirby. Like, no. We need to not believe in ourselves as much so we can get back to work the next week. Here's the other thing I'll say. You called Kirby fat before going to his house? You called him fat before you go? Everyone knows Kirby's fat. Kirby knows he's fat. He doesn't care, because instead of getting on a treadmill, he's over here eating like takeout food of whoever, so he can cold call 87,000 5-star recruits every single week that he has any downtime. You said that before you walked in this man's house. It's disrespectful. I know Lane thinks he's kidding, but Kirby has lost 2 games there since 2017. They're not going to lose this one. Georgia wins. I don't think it's big, but they win.
Hey, 4 days ago, I saw Kirby jump up on a table, okay? He is not that big. He's got some...
Yeah, I can barely get out of off the couch, dude. Every time we turn this thing off from week to week, there's just old man like grunts just getting up, just standing up from the chair. So, Kirby, you're doing great, buddy.
He is Chris Marler. Always fun to preview the week in the SEC with you, Marler. We'll do it again next week.
Sounds good, brother.
All right. Hey, a reminder to check out Locked On SEC simulcast daily on the Gulf Coast Sports and Entertainment Network for any of our listeners who live in Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. Catch us weekdays at 11:30 a.m. Central on the Gulf Coast Sports and Entertainment Network, home of the New Orleans Pelicans and home of Locked On SEC. I'm Chris Gordy. This has been Locked On SEC. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow.